Hello everyone! So, I have been sent this video a lot today, and it is from a channel called Runkle of the Bailey, and it is a criminal defense lawyer reacting to the toxic... Hold on. The toxic gossip train! Cause 3 years ago I made a fart joke. So we are going to be reacting to this video. Yesterday we reacted to Emily D. Baker, who covered this, and I absolutely adore Emily, and a lot of you really loved that video. I know that there's a big chunk of my audience that are also subscribed to Emily, and vice versa. And this channel, people have been loving this video, and actually one of the people that sent me this video is my mother this morning, and then I logged onto my Discord, it was being sent to me, and on my YouTube video of reacting to Emily, people were like, okay, you've now got to react to this one, because this is an actual criminal defense lawyer who is speaking about how, in the Toxic Gossip Train video, Colleen Ballinger further incriminates herself. And we're going to get to it. I watched the first couple sections of it that I saw on Twitter, but I have not watched this entire video, nor have I seen everything put together. So this is a first for me as well, and we are going to get to this. Make sure to go over and send this channel some love, and let's do it. So here we go.
Hello and welcome to Runkle of the Bailey. My name is Ian Runkle. I'm a Canadian criminal defense and firearms lawyer. A lot of people have been asking me to review Colleen Ballinger's ukulele apology video. So I downloaded it and let's have a look. Now, as I mentioned, I'm a criminal defense lawyer, so I'm going to be looking at it through that lens. A lot of the allegations against her aren't quite criminal at this point, but there's sort of near criminality. There's some places where somebody could potentially argue a charge, at least where I am, but also places where it might actually get the police interested enough to do further investigation. And maybe you get somebody else who comes forward. So at this stage, she hasn't been charged with anything, but some of the allegations should have her in sort of a defensive posture, a position where she might realize, hey, I could get charged. I should.
And this is one of the things I saw as well. So whenever I got wind of the fact that Colleen Ballinger had hired Andrew Brentler, isn't it? I think it's okay to say that now. I think it's pretty common knowledge that it's Andrew Bretler. Andrew Bretler. I think it's okay to say this now. I think it's pretty common knowledge that this is who she's working with. Is this him? Okay, so here we see his clients. You know, Prince Andrew and stuff. Okay, really good look. That now whenever you type in Andrew Bretler, Miranda Sings pictures comes up. Your reputation's deceased. All right. Controversial YouTuber. Oof. That is now attached to her name online. Has hired an attorney. Andrew Bretler, who has worked with clients such as Convicted, R Word, Danny Masterson, Disgraced Royal, Prince Andrew, controversial actor, Armie Hammer, who was accused of, you know, a lot. Interesting. Okay. So, you know, this is who her lawyer works with. But it was important to note that whenever I caught wind of the fact that this was who she hired a defense lawyer. And I don't think enough people were picking up on that. She hired a defense lawyer. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I know a lot of people haven't been speaking behind the scenes with legal people the way, unfortunately, I've had to for the past fucking month or so. So I know all these terms. I understand what he does. I understand his purpose. And a defense lawyer, in this case, she has hired Andrew Bretler out of fear of being sued rather than suing people. So that's really as far as I can go with like the conversations that are happening behind the scenes. But a defense lawyer gets hired to try stop your client getting sued rather than your client suing someone else. So that's why, you know, H3 are getting cease and desist from Andrew Bretler. You know, H3 aren't getting sued. None of us are going to be getting sued. A defense lawyer is literally to try your best to stop your client getting sued or getting in trouble, not causing further trouble by suing. So I can tell you that that is what's happening behind the scenes right now. He is a defense lawyer. His one job is to stop Colleen Ballinger getting sued rather than suing other people. That's why someone like him gets hired. And I know that in the past, I'm not saying him, but I'm saying, other defense lawyers, they will kind of, I'm not saying him again, but I'm saying that defense lawyers have been known for, trying to befriend victims and trying to get the victims to change their stories so that it makes the clients look better, or paying off victims, and defends people accused of crimes, basically. So that is what a defense lawyer does. Defends people of their crimes. And a big way a lot of these defense lawyers work is, again, befriending the victims, paying off the victims, and paying off people who are associated with the victims because the victims don't want to be paid off. So they pay off people that are close to the victims to discredit the victims so that then the story of the client that they're defending looks better. That is what a defense lawyer does. So, in this case, those kind of people would be like, this is all like I'm not saying any of this is happening. I have no proof of this. I'm saying like a defense lawyer's point of view right now with Colleen would be paying off people like Cody, for example, to get Cody on the record saying that, none of it was true. Because then that would, well, I mean, not really, no one really cares about Cody, but it would start to diminish the overall stories, right? However, that does not work anymore because we're too deep in this and there's too many stories. Or paying off Joshua David Evans, Colleen's ex-husband or something like that. So then the stories, start getting, that's what a defense lawyer does. And that is what Andrew Brettler is going to do for Colleen Ballinger, in my opinion, because that is what he has been known allegedly for doing with his other clients. So Colleen Ballinger, let me tell you something. The last thing she wants to do right now is sue someone. Colleen Ballinger is terrified of being sued by multiple people right now. Because keep in mind, there's a lot of people that could move this forward. I'm not even speaking about me. I'm speaking about that's how bad this is. There's a lot of people out there that could move this forward. That's why she hired a defense lawyer. So now we're going to hear from another defense lawyer. Mom, stop texting me, please.
Be being careful. So we're going to look at it through that lens and see, hey, was this a good idea? And spoiler alert, from everything I've heard, the answer is probably going to be no, but let's just see how emphatic our no gets. Okay, let's give this a go. Oh, going right to the ukulele. This is a bad choice just in general. I'm just going to note, anything she does here could potentially end up being used as evidence if she is charged, and can also be a possible motivation for why they might decide to dig in deeper. This is risky behavior at best. So, and when I say evidence, there's multiple ways this video could be used. One of them would be to establish the truth of allegations. Another might be to counter things. If she's ever charged and she testifies, then they could use things from this video in order to counter anything she might say at trial. It could also be used at sentencing in terms of if she was convicted of something, what sort of punishment. This might hurt that. Okay, here we go. Yeah, deep breath.
So I think that's an interesting point. That in this video, there are many statements that she has made that can be used against her. And I think the overall ridiculousness of the video kind of makes that really clouded to see. But if you start pulling it back and looking at transcripts of this video, then you have your statements.
Hey, it's been a while since you saw my face. I haven't been doing so great, so I took a little break. So a lot of people are saying some things about me that aren't quite true. Doesn't matter if it's true, though. Just as long as it's entertaining.
Ooh, this is not a great tone to start out with, because already she's painting herself as the victim in all of this, which, I don't know, maybe her PR team thought that was a good idea, but...
There is... PR team question mark. That does not exist. There is no PR team. If there was a PR team, this shit would not exist.
As a defense lawyer, certainly not a good idea. Someone who views themselves as the victim when they're actually legally considered the aggressor, that's the sort of thing that gets you hammered on sentence.
Right? You guys having fun?
All aboard!
The toxic gossip train.
Oh.
Driving down the tracks of misinformation. The toxic gossip train. They got a one-way ticket to the manipulation station. Toxic gossip train.
This song is so ridiculous! No matter how many times I hear it!
Time to do the tracks and harass me for my past. 'Cause rumors look like...
Okay, again, painting yourself as the victim in a situation where there's allegations against you is never a great move. Also, she's just admitted that there's something in her past. That's already an admission that on cross-examination, you could make all sorts of hay with. we're not even a minute in, and
This is what I've said in my video first reacting to this. If people pull this video back, she acknowledges, whether she wants to admit it or not, that these things happened. She admits that she was inappropriate. She admits by literally saying things like this, and then also not saying other things, admits other things. This video...
already I'm wincing.
Facts, if you don't mind, the gaps I won't survive in the crash, but hey.
At least you're having fun.
Keep in mind, these are allegations with regards to young children. The allegations are of grooming behavior, of inappropriate contact, that sort of thing. And so, this is really hurting me, as I would be very upset if a client was doing this.
I want to know how Colleen's defense lawyer watches this video, hearing another defense lawyer being like, thank God this isn't my client.
Hi everyone. I've been wanting to come online and talk to you about a few things.
Bad idea.
Even though my team has
Not bad idea. Also, I want to show you something real quick. I saw it on Reddit this morning. And I want to pull this up real quick. Okay. I won't survive in the crash, but hey, at least you're having fun. Let me pull up the Reddit to find this post to show you. Something that I just think is so... Oh, here it is. Colleen's high video, which she purposely put on her vlog channel to try get as little people as possible to watch it, has surpassed all of her pregnancy content, which, by the way, is her moneymaker. Like, this finding out I'm pregnant was her most viewed video, and high has overtaken it, which I just think the pregnancy content is all she got. That is her peak, right? It's not even arguable. It is. She admits that. And the fact that she put this high video on the vlog channel to have as little people watch as possible, and the video has overtook all of her pregnancy content.
You advised me to not say what I want to say. I recently realized that they never said that I couldn't sing what I want to say. So.
Okay, now, I don't know. Maybe that's a bit. I hope to God that's a bit, that she went and vetted this with her team, and the legal counsel said, okay, go ahead and post this. I don't know why I suspect what legal counsel would say is, we really don't like this. But this is how clients think sometimes. Oh, you said I couldn't talk to the police, so I just wrote it down, is the kind of thing I've heard from a client. Like, I didn't talk to the police, we were texting. So it's possible that she is just engaging in the kind of thoughts that get clients jailed, because those are the kind of thoughts that get people in jail. Oh man, if I'm her criminal defense lawyer at this point, what I'm doing is I'm getting on the phone, calling her up and saying, I need more money. And, just write a check, start with a 1, and then just keep adding zeros until your hand gets tired, and send that to me. Your PR person is also probably going to make the same phone call, but you should call me, or you should pay me
Is her PR person old enough to have their own cell phone bill? I think we're fine on that one.
first, in case there's not enough money. Anytime somebody says, well, my lawyer said that this was a bad idea, they're doing something that is a very, very bad idea. It rarely ends well.
And I think that is just a bad statement to include in general. I know we trolled on it, which is like, my legal team, or what'd you say, my team have told me not to say it, but I'm going to sing it. It goes to show that you're going against the people that are looking out for you professionally as well. It does not work in your favor.
I am, and today I only want to talk about the facts.
No, this is not what you want to talk about and put on record in any of these kinds of situations. People say, oh, I just wanted to speak to the police to clear things up, and it's never a good idea. And when you put something on YouTube, you're talking to the police, basically. They can use this content. I'm careful about what I say on YouTube because...
Oh, hi, Shah. My friend Shah's here. Can we get some hi Shahs? S-U-H-A.
I don't...
Hi, baby.
You want to be careful. It's just sensible. All right. And if I was facing any sort of allegations, the comments I'd be making on YouTube would be, hey, I'm taking a break, and I'll see you when I'm acquitted.
So, I hope that you'll be willing to listen.
Oh, we're willing.
Many years ago, I used to message my fans.
There we go. There we go. Thank you for admitting it.
Not in a creepy way, like a lot of you are trying to suggest. It was more of a loser kind of way.
Thank you for admitting it. You were messaging us in a loser kind of way. Open to interpretation. Open to interpretation. By trying to be so vague, you have opened it to interpretation.
This is already a terrible admission. This is the sort of thing that on cross-examination you'd just be going to town on. Because what's the difference between creepy and loser here? But she's already admitting that she's messaging her fans in some sort of inappropriate or problematic kind of way. And I'm guessing she's not going to get really specific, and that vagueness is great for cross-examination, because now you can ask the jury to fill in the blanks of what that is. Why wouldn't you say it? Well, because it must be that.
You know what I'm... Like, why did she make this video? All jokes aside, why did she make this video? It's almost like purposely setting yourself up for failure.
Bad, right?
I was just trying to be besties with everybody. It's kind of like when you go to like a family gathering.
And it's the fact that I know, because I kind of said this in my last video. I know because she sang this, you know, and wrote the song. I know this woman. I know that she was proud of this. And I think further, you know, her sending it to Trisha Paytas for Trisha to watch was definitely something that goes to show that she was proud of this video. Which means that she thought this video was going to go down well. Which is just like... I can't even see an alternative universe in which that happens. Like, how delusional do you have to be? And it's like, I really would love to know her opinion on how the reaction to this video has been, because it's, I can promise you, it's 100% not what she thought it was going to be. If she sat down here and sang and song or whatever, she thought this was going to be like the gotcha moment.
There's a weird aunt there, keeps coming up to me and like, hey girl, it's the tea. That was me.
Not the weird
Weird
aunt.
chats with my fans.
So you're admitting to creepy, off-putting behavior. Okay, bad idea. The other thing is that this metaphor that she's using of the creepy aunt, keep in mind that can play in all sorts of different ways. There's a reason why she said aunt instead of uncle. I mean, both because she's female, but also, if you think about that as the creepy uncle in this scenario, it's really a bad look.
And she's went on the record saying that the creepy uncle with Miranda is someone that basically, you know, children. So, not really what you want to do there.
So, don't like this at all. I'm not happy if I'm her defense lawyer, but I think I've said that.
It was weird. I've been sharing my life online for over 15 years. I've poured my heart out to you, and because of that I feel like I'm talking to my friends, but in the beginning of my career...
I've heard this song
I
too
understand
many
that maybe
times.
There should be some boundaries there. There were times...
Okay, again, this is the kind of line that you can make all sorts of use with. You
know what I mean? Like, she said in this video, I would mess with my friends, I'm creepy, I'm a loser, I didn't know there was supposed to be boundaries. If you rip back, like, what we've done, you know, like... I have the, like, transcript of this video, and that's what I work off. I don't work off of her doing a fucking ukulele video, right? She openly admits all this stuff, but then goes on the record saying that I'm lying. No, you don't want to talk about that? So, she has confirmed everything, and then simultaneously said I was lying, but confirms it all in one video, if you strip it back to the transcript.
We're saying that you had inappropriate contact with your minor fans.
Bonk.
That's an admission here. This is admitting that detail to ukulele music. Lose the ukulele. Just, I assume she uses this in other, I'm not a fan of hers, I assume she uses this in other performances, but it has no business here. And if she doesn't use it in other performances, she should probably bury it in a fire.
Videos when I would overshare details of my life, which is really weird to me. I haven't done that for years, you see, because I changed my behavior and I took accountability.
Oh, this is the sort of line that is great on sentencing. She says she took accountability, folks. Here she is playing it on the ukulele. Well, I can tell you what accountability looks like. Accountability looks like a jail sentence in the range of... So again, she hasn't been charged with anything at this stage. It's not entirely clear that any of her actions were criminal as opposed to just creepy and weird. But if they were to dig in and decide to charge her with something, this is exactly the sort of line that would be wonderful if you're trying to hammer her on sentencing. Just amazing for whichever lawyer is against her. Your own lawyer, of course, will be just facepalming.
But that's not very interesting, is it? So let's go on the toxic gossip train. The locomotive's fueled with hateful accusations. The toxic gossip train.
Again, it's a bold move to spin yourself as a victim in this kind of situation. And entirely likely she never gets charged with anything, but if she does, I would be trying to put this in front of a jury. And I think that you'd be able to. This is directly relevant. I can't see, the lawyer probably wouldn't be very successful in keeping this out.
See you're all over someone's reputation. Toxic gossip train. Hop on board, but close your eyes. Otherwise, you'll realize that the train is made of lies, and that person you despise maybe didn't deserve to die. But hey, at least you're.
She's so delusional. Like, damn, I thought I was delusional. Seriously! Oh my god, I said this on the Sophia Frankel podcast. I'm like, I'm a delusional person, but like, once you experience people that are this delusional, you start to be like, whoa, I'm actually a very centered person.
Okay, so she's coming back to that "at least you're having fun" line. And again, if this is in court, as her lawyer, I would not be having fun if I'm her lawyer in this situation. But just think about it. If there's any sort of allegation involving any sort of impropriety towards a child, and again, hasn't been charged, may never be charged. There probably, there may not be anything that can be charged. I just want to be really clear on that. But let's say that this ends up going in front of a jury and they hear allegations. And those allegations may be true or false. Somebody could come out of the woodwork and decide that because she is being excoriated in the media, they could decide that this is a good time to make something up. It happens. So she needs to consider not just the possibilities of if she did something, but also what could somebody make up. She's already sort of aware of lies, she says. Be aware
But doesn't counteract any of them.
The risk. But the jury hears allegations that they really don't want to hear. You're talking about people who just have ordinary lives, ordinary jobs, and are being dragged into this situation where they're suddenly being forced to hear really, really unpleasant stuff. And the prosecutor gets to hit back at that with, so are you having...
I know none of us are lying. I know chat's saying that. I'm just not stopping on it because it's, common known knowledge that none of us are lying, so I don't feel the need to have to stop and defend myself.
Fun?
Or
Members of the
anyone
jury?
else.
Are you having fun?
I'm just letting
And they're
him
clearly not. Okay, carrying on.
In all seriousness, I do think it's really important to hold people accountable for their mistakes.
That is a line that I would directly quote as a prosecutor. She thinks it's very serious to hold people accountable for their mistakes. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, we ask you to hold her accountable for her mistakes. If she ever faces a trial, you're just quoting that, straight up quoting that, in order to... I don't know what her PR person thought of this, but a lawyer, if I was representing her, I would be losing my mind.
You should hope that everyone can learn from their mistakes and grow and change their behavior and be a better person. This is something that I've always tried to do when I make mistakes, and it's something that I will continue to try to do. What? Oh, you don't care? Oh, okay.
I actually thought she was maybe getting a little bit better on that in terms of getting sympathetic, and then she blows it up to throw it in your face again. This is really unlikable in a way that is... It matters if your client is likable. It matters if the jury has sympathy for your client. And this whiny, poor me thing is really not going to play.
I mean, the words likable and Colleen Ballinger have not came in contact together for me in many, many years. Not even talking about a possible trial or anything, just in general. The words likable and Colleen Ballinger make no sense together, probably since like 2020 for me.
On me to take accountability, but that's not the point of your mob mentality, is it? No, your goal is to ruin the life of the person you despise while you dramatize your lies and monetize their demise. Yeah. I feel like I can already hear the comments on this video. She's gaslighting, manipulating. Oh, she's a narcissist, a rat. I would never make a mistake like that. Oh,
Again,
that part of the
you
video
just
is so
straight up play
ridiculous.
that to the jury. Just straight up and quote it, and so you agree that this sounds like you're gaslighting. You agree that this sounds like you're manipulative, right? Why would you say it if you didn't think that that's what it would sound like?
Again, I have to speak very loosely, but the conversation of how many times she acknowledges things in this video, if you pull back the ukulele, is almost incredible. And that is a line the line she just said, where she's like, I can hear the comments in this video. She's gaslighting, manipulating, and, whatever. That can clearly show that she thinks that that's what she's doing now, because she wouldn't say it otherwise.
This is the kind of thing that makes it impossible to put your client up on the stand, which could be really bad if you're facing serious allegations.
sorry, I didn't realize that all of you are perfect, so please criticize me. Bring out the daggers made from your perfect past and stab me repeatedly in my bony little back.
If you're facing any sort of allegation of serious behavior, which again, somebody could come forward with...
Not
and
my
it may
bony
not be
little
true,
back.
Right? But you've got to consider that in this perspective.
Have we ever got to the bottom of why she included that line? Like, she went, everyone's accusing me right now of being fatphobic. Let me just remind you one last time that I'm a skinny bitch. Like,
You've got to consider that somebody may come forward with something that might be wholly fanciful, but still is going to look really bad in the context of this.
a little body check for the road. She said, you know what? I'm not going to be posting vlogs for a couple weeks. I need to remind you that during my break, I'm still skinny.
Sure you're disappointed in my shitty little song. I know you wanted me to say that I was 100% in the wrong. Well, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna take that route of admitting to lies and rumors that you made up for clout.
Okay, I 100% get that you don't want to make admissions in a video when the allegations are serious.
However, she's made quite a few admissions in this video without thinking it already.
But you're making admissions all through this. And
Oh,
you don't
there we
realize
go.
They're really damaging admissions. She is really helping a case against her, even if it, I keep coming back to this, even if it's not an accurate case. This video makes it way easier to convict her of things she did do or things she didn't do. Any of those are really helped by this. The best thing to do often is to just keep your mouth shut. So she's playing high stakes games here because at the end of the day, there's a lot of money on the line. She's got a huge following and so forth. And I know she's got to look at that and consider that. But how much does that end up being worth at the end of the day in comparison with some of these risks that she's taking here?
Hey everybody, I found someone new to harass. She did some things that I do not like in her past. So
God, her voice is so grating here.
gather around because we're about to attack. They're not based on facts, oh no. Your loaded lethal weapons, your fingers on the keys. You don't need any armor when you can hide behind a screen. So shoot me down quick, hit the click, and bam.
My
Again,
reputation's
if the allegations that
deceased.
get made, truthful or not, are serious, all of this looks really, really bad. It looks really, really, and there's no way to mitigate that. This would be very hard to explain away. If somebody's coming in with a false complaint saying, hey, she did, various contact sorts of things, then at that point she's going, well, that wasn't what I was talking about in this video. It just looks like that after the fact because, and you're already explaining in a way that just makes you look more guilty. There is no...
I think that's such a good point as well, where, like, how just so much of this video makes her look guilty. Like, and she's trying to, do this full thing about how she's not guilty and all like this. There's so much of this that makes her seem guilty. And if she so desperately doesn't believe that she's guilty, right? This video makes her seem incredibly. Like, are we in agreement with that? Are we? Because it just... I don't even know what she was thinking. Alright, anyway, back to the video. Let me just load it up here. Okay.
no way to dig out of that hole. You can only dig deeper. And somebody needs to take away her shovel and use it to smash that ukulele.
My reputation's deceased.
You got more to worry about here.
I also wanted to take a minute to talk about that girl Miranda sings. You know the one. Yeah, her. She's
Also her.
PG-13. It says that on my website, and it's always been that way. And that's why you won't find my videos on the YouTube Kids app. Anyway,
Lying.
I didn't realize it was my responsibility to decide what was appropriate for every kid to see. I've always relied on parents to decide if they're comfortable with their families watching my YouTube videos or coming to my live shows.
And that's fair in the sense that parents have got to make, parental guidance.
But also, the PG-13 thing was only added recently. For
Maybe not so much
context.
when one of the allegations is having a young fan up on a stage and spreading their legs in front of the audience. Just, you gotta have some context here.
Wow.
Have I made some jokes in poor taste? Yes. Have I made lots of dumb mistakes? Yes. Am I sad
So what were those mistakes?
that there are some fans who feel betrayed? Yes.
And why do they feel betrayed?
Have I made lots of dumb mistakes? Yes. Everybody has. Every single person. But in the context here, this again is great fodder for cross-examination. You admit you've made a lot of dumb mistakes. Some of those mistakes might be criminal, right?
Was my intention to manipulate? No.
This whole video feels like your intention is to manipulate. This doesn't land the way you think it does.
It doesn't really matter what my intention was, because it seems as though everyone's already decided on that. Let me tell you, it's not very fun to have millions of people all over the world call you the most vile, horrendous, disgusting, life-ruining words.
I'm just going to stop you right there. These things are never fun. But nobody cares about you as much as you care about you.
A defense lawyer saying that about you. Like, get out of your own ass. You're making you being accused of things about you. About you. It's not about you. It's about what you've done. It's not about how you feel. No one gives a shit how you feel.
And this is always going to be a problem when you're facing any sort of allegation.
And this is why these kind of YouTubers always deal with these things on a yearly rotation, because this is how they deal with it. They make it about themselves.
Because you're going to feel that you're hard done by. And that's especially true. Let's take it out of her situation here. Let's say that you meet somebody, you never have any contact with them at all, but then they make a very serious allegation against you. You're feeling very hard done by at that point because you're facing charges. They might be very serious charges, and you didn't do it. But your righteous indignation about that, your upset about that, does not play well. And it ends up being something that can harm you in front of a court or in front of a jury, in front of a prosecutor who's deciding whether or not they should downgrade your charges or drop your charges, because they might be looking at that and it just looks really wrong. I've seen sentencing reports where people say they talk about how much it's affected them, and that always results in a push for a higher sentence, not a lower sentence. If you say, this has really harmed me and I'm a victim here, they'll say, well, you've got no perspective. You don't really realize what's going on. This is the sort of thing that this is one of the things where a lawyer is helpful, because they can be an outside voice to look at it and say, listen, don't. Just don't. This might be coming from the heart. It might be heartfelt. It might be your perspective. But from the context of other people, it doesn't work.
The person can be called, in my opinion. It doesn't matter that these things aren't true.
Sorry, I just kind of sat in silence and took all that in. He is reading the shit out of her right now.
Everyone just believes that you are the type of person who manipulates and abuses children.
That's the wrong kind of allegation to set to ukulele music. And again, if she's ever facing charges, which may or may not be true, again, she isn't at this point, she may never. I don't know if there's any truth to any of the allegations here, but if she's sitting there trying to say, well, this wasn't what I was talking about.
If there was no, I know he's like just playing devil's advocate here, but if there was no truth to the allegations, by the way, Colleen would have sat her ass down and filmed a video proving how they're not true, not done a ukulele video trying to deflect.
Well, she's not specific about the allegations here in a way that actually could allow them to be spun to any allegation that fits that description, which could be a lot more serious than the current suggestions that are floating around in the news. If you thought this was a bad idea, it's a worse idea than you thought.
So I just wanted to say that the only thing I've ever groomed is my 2 Persian cats. I'm not a
This is not the time to get cute. This is not the time to be funny.
True.
groomer. I'm just a loser who didn't understand I shouldn't respond to fans, and I'm not a predator, even though a lot of you think so, because 5 years ago I made a fart joke.
Which is really downplaying this allegation. The allegation that was made was that she was up on a stage with a young fan, spread that fan's legs out on the stage in front of the audience, and then made a fart noise. So
Becky.
if in whatever jurisdiction that happens, they decide...
I'm like the number one Becky defender. Like, anytime I see anyone speak anything negative about Becky speaking up, I get more defensive of Becky than I do for myself, because it really pisses me off.
that is something that they can proceed with, criminal charges, then they can say, look at how she's downplaying it. You might think you're helping. It's almost never the case that these statements help. And I'm just going to say, somebody in the comments is going to say, listen, you're being unfair to her. You're spinning all of this in the way that looks the worst possible for her.
She's doing it to herself!
What do you think happens in a criminal trial? You're going to have a defense lawyer there saying,
Or that.
hey, we need to look at this else, in a different way. But the prosecution is going to be spinning this as much as they can.
I love Becky.
We should be bringing out the torches and pitchforks. And she's making it very easy for them.
So, even though I know this video won't change anyone's mind about me,
Not in the way you want. It might, but not in the way you want.
I still felt it was important to come on here and defend myself a little and take accountability.
This is the worst instinct that people have when they're facing any sort of allegation. People say, I just felt it was important to tell my side of the story. That's how they explain that they talk to the couple.
But even at that basis, she doesn't tell her point of the story here. She sings a little vague song. You know what I mean? So, what we could argue is, oh, if this is your point of view, it's really bad. And maybe you should just shut up.
Cops. And often that is what gets them into even worse trouble.
Yep.
I thought it was important for me to tell my side of the story, to explain myself, to defend myself, and it ends up being what sends them to jail.
And I also wanted to say that if anyone out there who has ever supported me in any capacity,
This man is, like, professionally shady. Like, dragging people in, like, an educational way. I fear for him ever to professionally drag me, because people could drag me, shade me, hate on me. It's fine, whatever, water off a duck's back. But if someone, like, educationally shaded me, like, professionally dragged me, and it was intelligent and also super snarky, I would be devastated because it's so good and it hurts so deep. Whereas if someone's just being shady, it's like, oh, whatever, fuck you. But, like, this is, like, so educationally petty. I couldn't deal with it.
Thank you.
I don't hate that too much.
I never had
That's the nicest thing he said in this video. I don't hate that too much.
intentions. But I do feel like shit.
Again, people don't much care how you feel here.
The toxic
It's not fair when you're facing charges.
jogging down the track, so listen.
But that full point of, like, it feels like shit and I'm so sad. And then she goes, the toxic gossip. Immediately goes back in the song. So how are you so sad? Because, oh my goodness, you're showcasing your beautiful singing voice seconds later.
Information, toxic gossip train. You got a one-way ticket to manipulation station. Toxic gossip train.
Odd.
You tie you to the tracks
voice.
and people in my past.
Here's other questions. Because she's chosen to do this in the form of song, which is a novel and somewhat bold choice, you get to ask
Bold choice. It's a delusional choice.
questions like, how long did it take you to write this? You don't just perform for your video performances just off the cuff, right? You've got to do rehearsals. So this is a practice statement. You meant everything that you said in it, right? There's nothing where you slipped up because you rehearsed this.
So one could argue this is your best defense, right? So then if this is your best rehearsed defense and it's so this, then you would have to hire a defense lawyer to save your defense, right? Who did she hire? Defense lawyer Andrew Brettler. After her defense on YouTube.
The song aspect doesn't help. You can see that just watching this, but there's various angles where you can really try to hammer that home.
Rumors look like facts when you don't mind the gaps. You won't survive in the crash, but hey.
That could be taken as self-pitying. It could be taken as an admission. You said you wouldn't survive because you knew that this was all going to come tumbling down, that you were, again, this is how things get spun.
I hope you had some fun.
I hate that line. I hate it as a defense lawyer. If he was my client, I just hate every minute of this.
Encore!
You know, I feel like maybe I should let you guys know something. It seems like maybe you're confused about something. I don't know. Let me try to help.
Oh, no, you've done enough.
Sometimes people make a mistake and it doesn't make them a horrible person. Whoa. Sometimes people make
Whoa.
a mistake and they're still a good person. Crazy.
I know.
Again, the make a mistake is really vague, so you can try to patch that in on whatever might come in. And she's not helping. She's just digging further.
Sometimes people can make
I mean, all you can do whenever you've fucked up so deep is dig further, right? Bonk!
a mistake and you don't have to take that mistake. Oh no. Twist it up and grind it and add some lies to it and pulverize it and stab it with knives and ruin a life and oh no.
That part is so manic.
You don't have to take that mistake, oh no. Twist it up and grind it and add some lies to it and pulverize it and
It's so Gabby Hanna. Climb down my head and watch myself implode. A thought without a body ought to be total. It's so Gabby Hanna. How does that go? Hold on. I feel like I need to listen to this again to kind of get the Gabby Hanna one in my head. Hold on.
make a mistake and you don't have to take that mistake, oh no. Twist it up and grind it and add some lies to it and pulverize it and stab it with knives and ruin a life and
I climbed out my head and watched myself implode. A thought without a body ought to be the load to take the load off my brain. My head is poison and I'm searching for the antidote, but every time I find it, My defense screams, oh no, you don't. Whoa. Something like that. It's something like that. Okay, that's pretty good for, like, not keeping up with Gabby. That's, like, pretty good for, like, just, like, off the top of my head, right? That's pretty good.
Oh no.
Why do I know it so well? I do not know. But it... Okay, wait. I'm gonna do my final attempt at it, and then I'm gonna Google what the actual... Okay, I'm gonna load it up, but I'm not gonna look it up. And we'll see how accurate I get. I climbed out my head and watched myself implode. A thought without a body ought to be the one to take a load off my head. My brain is poison, and I'm searching for the antidote, but every time I find it, my defense is scream, oh no, you don't, whoa. That's, like, my best attempt at it. Okay. So, it actually is... Where is it? People die for this. People lie for this. People suck and fuck some guy for this. Where is it? I climbed out of my head and watched myself implode. I got that. A thought without a body ought to be a shot. Hello? Okay, I got the first line. A thought without a body ought to be a shot. Okay, I was saying to take a load off my brain. I don't know where that was coming from. That was not right. My brain is poisoned and I'm searching for the antidote. I got that. But every time I find it, my defenses scream, oh, no, you don't. Whoa. There's more? We do not care.
Yeah, the context on this one matters a lot. It really depends on what kind of mistake you're talking about. And there's mistakes where people will absolutely have pity on you saying, hey, I made a mistake, it's not a big deal. And there's types where they won't. And typically when kids are involved, you fall more towards the they won't.
Sometimes people can make a mistake. It doesn't mean you gotta send them hate. Oh
No.
Sometimes people can make a mistake and you can kindly let them know
And help them to grow.
Sometimes people make
Mistake.
mistakes simply because
They made a mistake.
Ugh.
It's
Again,
so
you gotta
awful.
consider the context here, but this I don't think is helping at all.
And that mistake doesn't make them a terrible human.
It just makes them human. The fucking smile.
What do I know?
Fuck me, right?
Fuck me, right?
Okay, so that's something. Again,
Can we just keep remembering that this is a criminal defense lawyer himself?
I can really believe that it's hard to say. You know, it's hard to say if that I ran this by my team and they told me not to do it is part of the bit. I can't imagine she actually ran this by her team and they said, "Yeah, go ahead."
They go, "We
that's
love
excellent.
this."
Fire.
They
I
go,
can't-
"We love the fact that you want to sing instead of talk. We love it."
I can't imagine her lawyer saying, "Send that." I can't imagine her PR team saying.
Colleen's lawyer. The real Andrew Bretler.
Looks good to me. And if they are, then maybe they're just too close. That's a risk. It's an occupational hazard. If you can get too close to your client and you lose some objectivity, that's a time to get off record.
Is that really him? Yes, that is her lawyer. No! It's Corey DeSoto! I know this edited on mustache, glasses, and soot is very believable, though.
You need somebody, she needs somebody in that room who can say, really? That's what you want to post online? Anyway, it's kind of blown up on her.
Oh my god, wait. Wait. I'm gonna say something I shouldn't say. Obviously. Unrelated to Colleen, but related to Corey. someone who used to loosely date Corey and hook up with him opened up to me in DMs about everything to do with Corey. Like Corey's reputation in Hollywood, what Corey's like as a person, whenever he would be around Colleen, like crazy stuff. Sure, I'll send it to you after. That's my friend from the Colleen days. I'll send it to you after. He DM'd me and was like, if you're talking about this, never say my name, but like here's like information, and if you respond to me, I'll tell you more. I didn't respond to him because like why would I want to talk to like one of Corey's like hookups? But I'll send it to you. The possibility of getting more Corey lore is exciting.
To the extent that I've got
Actually,
people,
I don't care.
and
I'm not
not
responding because I don't care enough, but it was interesting to see it.
Sphere of whatever it is she does on YouTube, but I've had a lot of people asking me to
Bonk.
comment on this one, so I decided to have a watch. And I hate it. I hate every minute of it. As a defense lawyer, this is, it's not the worst case scenario. The worst case scenario is if she does a video where she says, you know what, I'm going to lay out each allegation and tell you what really happened, and goes into a whole lot of detail about that. That's terrible, because everything she says happens at that point is set in stone if it's bad for her, but everything she leaves out, they can still come after her for, all of that. So, again, just to be real clear, because this is a sensitive topic, I don't see that she's done anything that is going to be charged at this point. And she may never, and any allegations that are made against her may be accurate, may not. I don't know what the actual truth of the matter is. I just know that the allegations are the sort of thing that would make you nervous. That either that they're going to dig up something and string together a charge that might be weak factually, but I mean the old line is they can indict a ham sandwich. So they may not be able to actually
Indict
get
a
to a place
ham
where they can
sandwich.
charge or where they've got a good charge, but they might throw one together anyway. Or you can get false allegations, or they can find something and say, hey, this gets us to where we need to be. So I'd be concerned in her shoes, and I would never put this out. Anyway, let me know in the comments below what you think. I shake my head at this one, but you may have a different take. Let me know.
I just so badly, first of all, shout out to Runkle of the Bailey. I just so badly want to know, like, what Andrew Brettler or whatever defense lawyer she's working with would respond to another defense lawyer being like, thank God this isn't my client, because it's that bad. And I mean, I've been saying this since she uploaded the video. The video did more than what people want to give it credit for. She openly acknowledged way more than people want to admit in the video. And again, if you look at the transcript is her being like, I had no boundaries, I messaged them in a loser way. I can't remember. You know, it's... Dude, he defended Prince Andrew. He's used to bad. Well, that's what I don't know if you were here for the start, but I was talking about, like, what a defense lawyer does. A defense lawyer's biggest thing that they want to do is just clear the name and get no further trouble rather than doing anything, like, further. Right? Like, I phrased that wrong. A defense lawyer, like I said, is more so trying to just get your client to stop having to deal with shit rather than putting a full stop to it. Because if you're hiring a defense lawyer, you're pretty much already, like, fucked. But is this, like, one of the first YouTubers that has hired a defense lawyer? Because Onision didn't even hire a defense lawyer. I may be wrong, but I don't think Davy Vanity had a defense lawyer. Jeffree Star just had a lawyer. He didn't have a defense lawyer. Shane Dawson just had a lawyer, like a Hollywood lawyer. I think she's I'm not saying she is the first. She's definitely one of the first YouTubers that has ever hired a defense lawyer. Like, a defense lawyer is like what, like, the Hollywood people. That's how scared she is right now. And by the way, no innocent person, not her being a trailblazer. Colleen Ballinger hiring a defense lawyer tells us everything we want to know. No innocent person is hiring a defense lawyer, and no innocent person is hiring Prince Andrew and Armie Hammer's lawyer. And what was the other one called? All the other names. So yeah, that tells us everything we want to know. And anyway, this video is really great. And I mean, it was Again, super validating to hear another criminal defense lawyer, who studies in the similar thing that her one do, basically being like, fuck me, I would not want to be working with her. Because that's exactly what I'm thinking anyway, behind the scenes. Anyway, there's that.